there are some ramifications of breathing through your mouth and actually breathing very shallowly. Chris already mentioned that when we breathe through our nose, we're actually, the hair follicles in our nose are there for our own protection of viruses to not come into our body. And when we breathe through our mouth, we do not have that layer of protection or those layers of protection. But what's interesting is that people who breathe through their mouth tend to have tooth issues, tooth decay, much quicker, or they just happen to have that.
That makes sense. I didn't know
Is
that.
what,
That's
yeah, it's pretty wild. And then the other thing is that they can have a lot of swollen glands. So people who have constant sore throats, which again, you think about the throat chakra, right? Which is like a if you think of it's like a pillar, right? And it's sitting around here in this area. What happens is that the throat area gets compromised, and we're very susceptible to sore throats. Maybe we're susceptible to having pneumonia. We're susceptible to strep, right? All of these different, illnesses that come up, swollen glands. Even it's going so far as to maybe not even having the ability to speak your mind, to stand up for yourself. Like there's all these different more spiritual ways of looking at that. But I thought even our jaw line changes just by having breathing through our mouths. So there are physiological, and energetic consequences to not breathing through our nose. And this isn't to deter you from ever doing any practice like Chris has done when he's with his buddies, and they do that breath work. That can be done very specifically on an occasional, once a week or something. But I think we're talking about just normal breathing. Like, how do we get into the pattern of normal breathing is one of the best things that you can do. And you can listen to this, but we really invite you to do it, to take action, to put your attention on your intention to make this change and make this shift.
It's so profound. As you make this shift, it's going to be, it really is. It's one of those fundamental things right up there with meditation, where you'll look back, months down the road, years down the road, and just you'll thank yourself, for giving your body and the rest of your being kind of the bare minimum in a way, because we're well below the bare minimum of how we live already. And just breathing properly should be something that's taught in every school. It's a fundamental. It's like eating healthy. It's like anything else, right?
Yeah.
Why aren't we taught about how to breathe? Like, come on, it's breathing.
So I would love to talk with you a little bit because you've got the music background. It would be fantastic. I love sighing, like, ah, and there's nothing wrong, but I'm actually using different octaves of sound with my breathing. And I know you know about this as well. So this would be kind of fun to talk with the listeners and about the different sounds that come out. So vocalists actually practice their breath work through different sounds, A, E, I, O, U, or whatever that is. And I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's bringing me back to my university days again. I remember we'd be in class and we'd do like 100 of us are going like, and like you got 100 people in a lecture hall doing that. It's pretty hilarious. And yeah, it's also very profound, outside of even just doing vocal exercises. What my vocal teacher also was teaching me at the time, she's like, you can hear and you can actually feel the pitch of the note that you're trying to hit. You can feel it in your body. And the more familiar you become with different notes in the musical scale, where they actually sit on a frequency level in your body, that's going to allow you to, just become a more aware vocalist of where the frequencies, where the music actually sits in your body. Really cool thing to become aware of. I didn't know it at the time, but she was also very much teaching me about breath work in that way, and frequency, because when we do toning is what one of the ways that's called. There's also it's called the physiological sigh as well. I actually just did I'm working on a breath work right now with a wellness app called Sprout, SPROWT, and we're doing a whole breathwork section, and the latest one we just did was the physiological sigh, and it's actually really, really helpful for you watching and listening audience to make noises with the breath. So when you're doing your exhales, you can really start to tone, and I invite you to really use your intuition. And if you want a little refresher, check out our intuition episode on the ways that we can hear our intuition, and let your intuition really guide the tone, because your body is just going to need a particular frequency. So as you just follow along, like just doing a big breath in, and just sigh out like that. I do 3 of those every morning as I wake up, just to like wake my body up. And the sound of the sigh really helps my body be like, okay, Chris, you're awake. Let's do this. Let's get out of bed. And that sound, that whatever that is, you can make whatever sound you want. The more you just let it out and don't think about it, the better, because your body's going to start making noises that it actually needs. And if we realize like low frequencies down here sit like really lower in my body, and the higher up I go, I can feel it at the top of my head when I'm up around here. So it's like you can play around with frequency and pitch, because you're going to feel it in different parts of your body. And if sometimes when I have a headache, I'll actually kind of just go like, and I put my teeth together. So I bite on my teeth, not hard, but I put them together so they vibrate even more. And I'm like, and I just sort of make a tone until oh, there it is. Okay. Making a tone. It's vibrating that part of my brain. Oh, it's like a brain massage. All right, cool. And I just do that until the headache goes away. So I'm literally using a sigh or frequency humming basically to get rid of a headache. So there's so much we can do with just sighing and making noise when we breathe out. And I really invite you to use more or less your intuition on that one, because your body's going to tell you what weird sounds it wants you to make. And maybe when you first try this, be in a place where you don't mind, a more private place maybe, to make some weird sounds so you don't feel judged, and you can just let out whatever you need to let out.
Like in the shower.
In the car, secluded.
Hey, I do that all the time. I'm always saying in the shower, because there's like such a wonderful echo, right? In the shower.
We all sound great in the shower.
We all do. But I actually get out all of those sounds in the shower.